Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Adam back here, and today I have another video. This time I'll be reviewing the 2003 Clone Wars series Clone Army Customs clone ARC Troopers that they made spanning the years of 2009 to 2010. And wow, that was a mouthful. So for this review, I'll be going left to right and basically going through each figure. Probably for the two blue ARC Troopers, since there's not that much difference between the two, I'll probably be doing those at the same time. And because the only thing different is their weapon, and that's what makes them unique. But yeah, it was really interesting getting these figures a while ago. I know I did an unboxing of them, and I'm really happy that I got them. So I figured I might as well just review them. I've reviewed most of my old CAC, I believe. And if you guys like this video, let me know, and I'll review the Cody P1 and the Airborne 212 that I got as well from the old CAC batches. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So, like I said, I'm going left to right, which means that we are starting off with the ARC Red Trooper, which is also known as Clone Wars Captain Fordo, which was released in 2009 by CAC, and it retailed for $49. And it uses a modified 2002 Phase 1 helmet and a resin rangefinder, as well as some of the current Clone Army Customs Bly pistols, I guess you would call them. I think they're the 327th core pistols, basically, that they use. But yeah, so what you'll notice with a lot of these figures is that the condition is not necessarily nice. This is not an accurate representation of what the figures actually look like by any means, mainly due to the yellowing, in this case, on this torso, and some of the fraying on the cloth. So just keep that in mind as you watch this review. But this has to be one of the like just great OG CAC figures that they ever made. And as you can see, I'm actually using the 1x8 black Clone Army Customs custom print brick for this review, which is very fitting as well. But yeah, this was past the era of open visors, I do believe. And as you can tell, he has a closed visor, just full helmet, which is honestly very fitting for this figure. As much as I like the open visors, I honestly like these ones just a lot better. And yeah, so let's just get into it. One thing that I thought was cool about each of these figures is that they do contain the old Clone Army Customs heads, which I believe are also a decal. You can see the outline of where the face printing stops, or the decal, I guess. And it's basically a complete match to the current one, almost, except for a couple details. But the only difference, of course, being that it is a decal. So yeah, it was a little bit of an early prototype, you could say. And I guess if the helmet's off, we can just look at the Commander Pauldron real quick. So this is an old type of cloth that they use. It's definitely not their new material. And I think that's it fits these figures very nicely. The only difference is just that this one is really, this is a heavy cloth, and you can see that with how much space is left in between the torso and the legs. So, I mean, I'm glad they moved past it, especially because the detail really gets lost, honestly. And the frame definitely has not changed. But yeah, it's an interesting touch to these figures that really makes them unique. And at the time, I would have died to have one of these, and I still would. If you have any original CAC to sell me, please let me know. But moving on to the helmet, you can see, like I said, it's the 2002 resin cast, basically, of the original helmet. And you got side decals and the little black lines on the side. And then we got the visor, of course, with the dark gray markings on the sides of the helmet, and then just the black visor with the red. And then the fin is just red all around, and then the back has the red markings, the black line up there, and then just this sort of mesh of black on the back of the helmet as well. So, as well, the rangefinders are really difficult to work with. I'm very glad they moved past these, but these are actually pretty rare to find. I mean, they're just incredibly loose, so I could see why they would get lost all the time. But yeah, they're just very hard to find, and probably for that reason. So yeah, if you see, it just barely stays on there. So yeah, that is the helmet, I should say. I'm just going to leave the rangefinder like that. It'll fall over the entire review. But as you can see, the torso is just the front and the back, just both decals, and the legs actually are only the front as well. And yeah, the torso is pretty yellow. It's just I really like this template they used. It's sort of the Clone Wars one except modified, and it really matches the 2003 look. But yeah, you got the 4 red dots up on the top right breastplate, and then you got the arms, which are the old style template, which are like very minimal detail, just pretty much just like they don't even stretch down all the way. It's just this little section right here, which is how many of the decals were designed at the time. So it really doesn't, it's not out of the ordinary for when this was made. So yeah, but each arm is pretty much the exact same, and it's just the red stripe and the little dark gray or light gray patch on the side there, and yeah, the black outline. So that is the arms. Then the legs are very unique. This is by far the most unique knee pad design at the time. Just a lot of black detailing to create the shape of the knee pads, and then the 2 black lines coming down from the hip as well. And yeah, so the belt or the capes are removable because the belt is actually a separate decal, which is nice. Unfortunately, I'm not going to remove those because I really am very careful with how I handle these figures. They're very delicate, I feel like, and I do not want to ruin them by trying to show you basically how the belt connects. But yeah, that is Fordo. So now we will move on to the Arc Lieutenant and the Arc Gunner. Alright, so here is the Clone Wars Arc Lieutenant on the left, which was released in 2009, and the Clone Wars Arc Gunner, which was released in 2010, is on the right. So these 2 figures I'm going to group together basically because they are the same figure, and like the only difference and the only reason that they were named different was because of their weapons. Both of which are, well, one of which is a custom mold and the other one is just Lego brick built, which is a very common design that people use. But yeah, the left blaster is from Little Arm Shop and not Clonearmycustoms. This was before they had designed their own weapons, I believe. And yeah, it's pretty much the same as Fordo. They both use the modified Phase 1 helmet from 2002. And usually these figures do have rangefinders. Unfortunately, I don't have enough rangefinders for all of them. I think I only have 2, and I put those on the heavy gunner and the Fordo. So yeah, we're going to leave those out. But again, some of these figures, or both of these really, are a little bit dirty, a little bit dusty, and that's understandable considering it's been almost 10 years now since these guys were made, so yeah, I mean, 10 years goes by, a lot can happen to decals, but they're very cool, to be honest, and they're pretty much the exact same Fordo template, except with the blue dots instead of the red dots. And you can see that the legs are similar, or exactly the same, including the belt and the torso, and the dots on the right breastplate are actually blue instead of red, and the arms are the exact same except they are blue, and the pauldron is the same except it is blue again, and the waist cape is actually just a blue trim. Again, these are very thick cloths. They like, you can't squish them down, so there's a large separation gap between the torso and the belt decal. But yeah, they're the same helmet too, pretty much. I mean, everything is just similar. It's just the colors have changed. The color is just blue instead of red. The fins have the exact same design, even on the back. And yeah, so back, torso, very, very similar, if not an exact reprint. But I really, really like these figures as well. They honestly look very cool when you have more than one of them. And I pretty much was able to get the whole pack with this one because I was able to get the Arc Lieutenant and the Gunner, even though the Gunner's difference is just that he has a brick-built gun. So yeah, I'm very happy too that they, even back then, they used parts that didn't have cracks on them for the torsos, for example, or the legs weren't like messed up on any of the sides. They're very cool figures, and even back then you can tell Tyler's commitment to making the best figures for that time. So yeah, these are very special to have, and the only figure left we have to do is the Clone Wars Heavy Arc Gunner. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, so here is the final figure. This is the Clone Wars Heavy Arc Gunner. It was released in 2010, and it retailed for $52 and includes, again, a modified Phase 1 and Clone 2002 helmet, except it's actually a little bit different, and that being that the Heavy Gunner uses a much more front protruding helmet, as you see the size comparison. So yeah, it's a little bit different. I really wish they would bring this helmet back. It's very cool. But it is what it is. So yeah, it also includes the other resin rangefinder that I have, and then it also includes the cloth again, and a custom built brick built gun, basically quad gun, and you use the sides of the pistols here as handles for it. And the reason I don't have it on right now is because I can show you guys the two different positions it can be in, which is that you can push it back like that, and then you can have it go like that, so that he can just, you know, hang out and chill right there. And this is also adjustable if you want to tilt it one way or the other, or if you want to center it, you can go like that. And again, I'm going to take off the rangefinder just because it's so... These ones are interesting because this one is actually really, really loose. The other one is a little bit tighter, but the holes for the helmet are definitely a lot bigger than the actual connector piece. So yeah, but I really like this figure. It's pretty much the same as all the other ones, though, for the body. And it has the same arms as the Lieutenant and the other Heavy Gunner, but and the same back as well. But I really, really like this brick-built concept, and especially just how easily you can flip it around and then just give him all that firepower. So yeah, definitely a cool figure, and I really like this brick-built concept. It is a little bit like bulky, but it's really good if you don't have an alternative. And yeah, so that's all of the figures. I really wanted to do this review for a while, and I'm glad I finally got around to it. Let me know what other CAC reviews you guys want to see. And hopefully one of these days I can make a custom Grievous to go with these. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more. And this is goodbye, and have a nice day.